you will realize that there are so many black African men in the Western jail, and most of the time they often blame their wife. But the reality is that majority of these men don't have respect for the law of the land and the preset culture of the Western world. You might feel like, what is this one saying now? I want you to remember that the UK, the US, the Western world never just set their law when you get there. They have preset their law and you know it before you travel down there. Meanwhile, both you and your wife walk into that land, and if you are actually sane, you should know that you must abide by the law of the land. This is no question. Because here in Africa, you are the head of your family, you run the whole show. But over there in the West, it is no news that you and your wife, you are both partner to each other, and you are headed by the law and their culture. This is no breaking news you are just hearing. You know it. My dear brother, you pay serious attention into how you are going to raise money to move the whole of your family there. But you do not pay attention to the law of the land that might get you into trouble if things doesn't work out right as planned. You pay less attention to the upbringing of your wife and the attitude of your wife that will make life easier for you when you get to that land, knowing the law before you get there. My dear brother, it is not your wife's fault. It is your decision, and I want you to think deeply about it. And at the same time, you pay less attention to who you are. You don't know yourself enough to know that you easily get triggered, and that might really run you into a big problem in the West. You did not pay attention to that. And also, you never pay attention to optional safety for yourself, just in case things doesn't work as planned. Probably your wife wants to become rebellious. Probably the business is not going as planned. What are the optional safety did you set up for yourself? But you just believe that the moment you get there, everything should work in your own favor. My dear brother, think deeply about all this. It is not your wife's problem majority of the times, but it is what you decide to ignore. Because in the West, if you try to behave like you are in Africa, you might easily run into big problems you never imagined. You really need to understand the law of the land you are going, and you need to respect it dearly. Because if you don't respect their law, they will not hesitate to punish you in the appropriate way. My dear brother, I need you to really understand this. And for this reason, my dear brother, if you really want to blame, I want you to blame your thinking. I want you to blame your decisions. Most of the time, it is not your wife, because you know your wife before you get out to the West, majority of the time. I want you to think about that. It is not a crime to leave your wife in Africa and be visiting her intermittently if that will bring peace into your life and your marriage. But if you keep thinking out of emotion, brother, it will always cause commotion. And I want you to think deeply about this. Majority of the time, it is not your wife to be blamed, but the decision you make. I want you guys to really think deeply about this. Be careful. Don't get destroyed there. Peace out.